Attemperation. Steam temperature control by attemperation. Superheat / reheat. Steam temperature control. Part 4. Attemperation. Attemperation is the process of reducing the steam temperature by removing heat from the superheated steam with the help of a desuperheating apparatus called an attemperator. Types of attemperators. There are two types of attemperators: surface attemperator, also known as a non-contact attemperator, and a spray or direct contact attemperator. Request. It is hoped that this session is going to be useful to you. Please press like button. Please subscribe this channel. यह लेक्चर हिंदी में भी उपलब्ध है. In this portion of this lecture, we are going to talk about surface attemperator. The surface attemperator may further be classified as a header type, shell tube type, or a submerged or drum type. This diagram shows header type attemperation. Here we are having the primary superheater, and here we are having the secondary superheater. Between the primary superheater and secondary superheater, there is a steam header of a bigger size in which there is inbuilt heat exchanger, and through the coils of this heat exchanger there is circulating water control, which is being controlled with the help of this circulating water control valve. In this type, the superheater inlet header is enlarged to accommodate the heat exchanger tubes carrying cool water. The header type attemperator has a limited control range because of the restricted diameter of the headers. In this diagram, we are showing shell and tube type attemperation process. Here we can see there is a primary superheater and there is a secondary superheater. Between the two superheaters, we are having a heat exchanger, which we call as shell type desuperheater. So in this heat exchanger, from one side primary superheated steam is coming. This primary superheater steam is filled in this tube, and around the tube we are having water from the drum. So in this heat exchanger, heat of the steam is being transferred to the drum water. Drum water is getting converted into steam, and steam is going back to the boiler drum. And in this process, the steam is getting cooled, and this cooled steam is again mixing with the hot steam here. For this purpose, we are having a control valve. This control valve is diverting the steam into two streams. One is going through this heat exchanger, other is going direct. So here we are having a mixing of cold steam and hot steam, and thereby the steam temperature is being controlled. And with the help of this control valve, the output temperature of this secondary superheater can be controlled. Rest of the explanation shall be in the next slide. Steam temperature control by using a shell and tube type attemperator is sometimes adopted in relatively small size boilers from economic consideration. The control range of the shell tube type attemperator is limited. In this type, the shell and tube heat exchanger is fitted into a pressure vessel. A portion of the steam is taken from the primary superheater outlet by a control valve, and through the heat exchanger, this steam comes in contact with the boiler drum water. Thus, a portion of the heat from the steam is transferred to the boiler water in a heat exchanger. The cooler steam coming from this heat exchanger remixes with the primary steam prior to entering the secondary superheater. Thus, the steam temperature is maintained by controlling the quantity of diverted steam. Submerged type. This type is similar to the shell tube type, except that the heat exchange between the diverted steam and boiler water takes place within the boiler drum. This is the diagram which we have discussed in previous slide, but little bigger in size for your convenience. In this portion of the lecture, we are going to discuss spray or direct contact attemperator. This is the schematic diagram from schematic diagram for direct contact type attemperation. Here we can see that from boiler drum the steam is entering primary superheater. Then this primary steam is entering a header in which there is an arrangement for spraying cool water in the header. So this water is coming in direct contact with the primary steam. The mixture of steam and water is now entering the secondary superheater, and then we are having the outlet of the steam here. With the help of this water spray, we are controlling the steam temperature at the outlet of secondary superheater. Water is coming in direct contact with the steam, so it is called direct contact type attemperation. Further explanation shall be in the next few slides. In this type of attemperator, the steam temperature is reduced by spraying low temperature water from either high pressure feedwater heater outlet or boiler feed pump discharge header into the line between the low temperature superheater outlet and the high temperature superheater inlet. The spray nozzle injects water into the throat of a mixing venturi, where water mixes with high velocity steam in the throat, vaporizes and cools the steam. This diagram shows the effect of spray attemperator. The spray type attemperator is by far the most satisfactory one, since it provides a rapid and sensitive means of steam temperature control. The effect of the spray attemperator is shown in the attached figure. Request: it is hoped that this session was useful to you. Please press like button. Please subscribe this channel. यह लेक्चर हिंदी में भी उपलब्ध है।